All right, friends, it's T-Man. We back with a new video on guess who? Well, it's Greg Doucette, man. The lifting gym recruiting lifting slave. Yes, man. All right, I got to do a review on this video Greg Doucette made. Greg Doucette says it's about Sam Sulek. Who pissed off Sam Sulek? All right, let's see what Greg has to say. It's going to be interesting.
The basic premise of the comment was, should I try to push all my sets that hard?
And so shockingly, he says, Coach Greg, in today's video, who got Sam Sulek so upset?
I saw
Yes, it is Greg Doucette.
a comment that kind of upset me. It was a little bit upsetting, and that's pretty rare.
And so he says he read a comment, and rarely do comments ever upset him. But this one, this comment in particular, it got him going harder than last time.
The basic premise of the comment was, should I try to push all my sets that hard?
And so consider this. The guy is watching.
Push all your sets so hard. It's relative. It depends. I don't know. Let's see what else he has to say.
Sam Sulek's videos, in which he's training to failure and beyond. Jeff Nippert did a training analysis of all his videos, and 96 to 98% of his working sets were, in fact...
Yes, Jeff Nippert, the fake influencer on steroids, is going to do a review of another fake lifting guy on steroids, cosmetic fake muscles, whatever lifting guy, fake strength. A review, okay, great, by Greg Doucette, who's another fake bodybuilder, fake strength, fake muscles, and everything else. It's all induced by drugs. Okay, great, man.
Done to failure and or beyond. And so the guy says, should I be copying you? Should I be training like Sam Sulek? You know, pushing hard, going to failure and beyond? Yes or no?
Should I try to push all...
I don't know, for steroid people, it doesn't matter what a steroid dude would do, man. Testosterone does not build muscle. The artificial testosterone he's injecting is going to build muscle. It's going to build phony sarcoplasmic muscles. That's what it's going to draw a lot of glycogen in the muscle, and all of you are going to say, well, he got big, so he must have built muscle. Well, let me ask you a question. I have two balloons, one on the left hand, one on the right hand. One has sand, the other one has water. Okay, which one has the water? Which one has the sand in it?
all my sets that hard?
And so he basically wanted to know, should I be pushing all my sets as hard as Sam Sulek?
Okay, man, look, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is not constrained, constrained by, follistatin, myostatin, and the satellite cell. Okay, man? So, just like fat cells, they have no domain limit. It doesn't matter what you do. Go to failure, go this, do that, whatever. You're going to get a pump like he always shows. I got a pump, and now I got to show you what it looks like in the mirror, how I look pumped up. Okay, great.
I mean, we have, after all, Jeff Nippert saying, I don't think we should train as hard as Sam Sulek.
Ooh, we have Jeff Nippert saying, ooh, the phony bodybuilder. Yes, Greg, okay.
Like, he believes that 1/3 of your working sets should be taken to failure, and the other 2/3...
On steroids, 2/3 need to be taken to failure on steroids? Okay, yeah. All right, does it really matter what is taken out? Look, I've had lots of friends on steroids, okay, man? They don't give a shit about failure, nothing. They just lifted a couple of weights and they got massively huge, and they ate shitloads of carbs all day, pizzas and fucking pasta and everything, and a whole bunch of weird shit.
Taken to approximate failure. You know, 1 rep's in reserve, 2 reps in reserve, 3 reps in reserve. But let's see what the...
I like how Greg tries to make it sound so technical. The artificial world is so technical, how they built this muscle and everything. All the looks are all the same. All of these people, when they take steroids, all of their looks are exactly the same. Fake, phony. And so is their strength, because it's molecule strength. They injected something phony.
Sam Sulek say,
should I try to push all my sets that hard? Petrol, are you kidding me? Obviously.
And so shockingly,
I'm going to explain to you. If you push your sets to failure, doing the exact same weight, the exact same exercise, you're going to get a 0. And you're actually going to shrink doing that. The only time it ever works in a normal person, a natural person building real muscle, is when they're moving up in adaptations. I wouldn't say it's failure. Maybe you could call it that. I don't know. Let's say every time you incrementally go higher in weight, instead of stopping at 10 or 12 or 15, keep going until you can't do any more repetitions until the last rep. But not to the point where you're fucking going to injure yourself or die or something. Just enough that you can eke out quite a few more repetitions. You've got more in the tank. That's about it. So you can eke out more adaptations in a natural state, unlike these phony artificial states.
He says, of course, obviously. I thought he was going to say, obviously not. Literally, I was watching him, and when he said obviously, I thought he was doing it for a dramatic pause. Obviously not. You're not all like Sam Sulek. Of course you shouldn't be doing 98% of your...
Yeah, not all of you are on steroids like Sam Sulek, but I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people out there on steroids and doing drugs and whatever out there. Because anybody, you know, they're all inferior. That's why they do steroids, because they're inferior. They have inferior genetics. They feel inferior. They look inferior. They're just inferior. So they need to take steroids, you know, that to curb that inferiority complex they have. Like Greg Doucette.
Failure. But no, he doubled down. Obviously, you should be training as hard as Sam Sulek. I disagree.
Even Jeff has a video where he was talking about his inferiority complex. They were talking about how I could win the show. I ordered these steroids, but, you know, I bought the steroids, but I didn't take them. But they told me I could win the show. But he took the steroids and he won the show. Get it? That's the whole point, because he knows he's inferior. He's inferior, and he has got inferior genetics, so he knows he will lose. And the only way he can beat people that are superior to him is he had to fake it with steroids to pretend that he's more superior by taking something artificial to beat them out.
First, consider this. If you're a beginner, should any of your sets be as hard as Sam Sulek? Nope. None of your sets should be taken to failure and...
The people that are out there that are actually superior, they don't compete. But you'll see them walking around. They look superior. Their genetics, they're superior, bro. And then people always say, how come you don't compete? Why would they want to compete against these inferior people out there, get it? That are especially those that are taking drugs. These inferior complex people taking drugs. Here's the thing. Sam Sulek is going to compete with these inferior bodybuilders on stage, whatever. So he says, I don't know. He's taking drugs. He's big on the social media. The reason why Sam Sulek is so popular, like Greg Doucette's channel, his channel, because there's so many inferior people out there, get it? They all feel inferior. So when they look at Sam Sulek, they go, yeah, one for the inferior guy. Yeah, Sam Sulek. They go, yeah, Sam Sulek. Yeah, Greg Doucette. And all these other like minions, fucking like Jeff Nippard's minions. That's why their numbers are so high, because there's more inferior people out there than superior. When they see superior people on channels, there's a few of us out there, even on the small channels like myself. My genetics, they're superior. They've always been superior. I'm not saying I didn't go through life with, you know, having some issues, man. I have some nerve issues. But I'm still superior no matter what. And I'm an older person. And Wolverine is superior in his lifts to other people. And so is Big Trips and a few other people out there. They're got superior genetics, bro. Get it? They're superior in their lifts, their genetics, this and that. They're not inferior. But these people, they're all, that's why our numbers are small. But these other people who are inferior got to take drugs and everything, and then they capture an audience that's inferior to watch them. They gaga over them. They drool over my Sam Sulek. My Jeff Nippard. My Greg Doucette. I'm so inferior. Have you seen the lineup that comes to sign Sam Sulek's poster, man? They're so inferior. If I were to pop that up right now, you'd have a laugh.
Or beyond, if you are in fact a beginner. Remember, you start off easy and over time you progressive overload. And so when you first join the gym...
Yes, over time you progressive overload. Over time you progressive overload. Let me tell you something. Yeah, with a steroid, it's fake. You're faking it. So there's nothing going on there. It's all pretend, okay? And so is the strength. So no matter what you do there, who cares? The strength is already there. It's based on fake molecules. That's about it. I'm not saying you may not be able to get an adaptation there. It's a possibility, even on drugs. But it'd be very minute at that.
Start easy. You do a bunch of warm-up sets. You don't ego lift in the gym. And over time, you gradually increase the load and you train harder than last time. And so if we divide training group...
Look, I'm 250 to 50 pounds, but my physique doesn't look anything like Sam Sulek. Sam Sulek's 250 pounds sarcoplasmic, hits sarcoplasmic and drugs. My physique is more based on myofibrillar growth and zero drugs. So our physiques will never look the same. And even if I was to do some sarcoplasmic, let's say I started eating complex carbohydrates and loading it in there, maybe I would have that nice puffy, puffed out, buffed, that balloon look, puffed out like Sam Sulek. But I'd never get, I don't know, over time, maybe I could get as ripped as him, possibly naturally. It's really hard to say. I've never really totally brought it to that level yet. I don't know. It's a possibility. I say you could come close, but you'll never look the same as somebody on steroids because it's artificial genetics. You're injecting plant genetics in a human body. It's fake. Get it? It's plants. It isn't human.
Into thirds. 1/3 are beginners. A third.
Look, human chronic gonadotropin is human. It's a molecule. It's hormones. It's peptides. You inject it, but it's not going to give you the look like what the plant is going to give you. You could build muscle on HCG. You could look big, massive, and even pretty strong. Those molecules can make you strong and everything. But guess what? It'll never exude the look of the plant genetics. You're injecting these artificial plant genetics. Get it? Which are actually changing your genetics temporarily.
Intermediates, and a third are advanced level lifters. 1/3 of people automatically should not be training as hard as Sam Sulek.
But the side effects from the plant genetics are permanent. The side effects. I didn't say the fake muscles and the fake strength. That's going to go away really fast when you stop eating those drugs.
And so the answer should be obviously not. Obviously, you shouldn't always be training to failure. Obviously, you shouldn't always be trying.
No, all of you who are natural lifters should train to your potential. You understand me? You're moving higher sometimes in weight and repetitions so you can eke out new adaptations. That's the whole point. I don't know about this. I got to go to complete failure, like complete to the end. Yeah, I don't know what that means to some people, failure. I don't know. To the point where you're going to get injured? No thanks. Not injured, but just enough.
You train as hard as Sam Sulek. Even ask Dr. Mike Israetel. Ask Jeff Nippert. Ask almost anyone. There is, in fact, science to training. And although I'm a proponent of just training hard...
There is science to training. I've popped it up before on my channel. It's called eccentric training, okay? It's superior to concentric. Not that concentric is bad. Everything starts with concentric and then it ends up with eccentric. It's the whole point.
Pushing harder than last time, going in progressive overloading, I do believe there's a...
This is drugs. This is drugs. He injected a drug, a molecule, to push that heavy weight. In his mind, he thinks that lifting a heavy weight is going to build a muscle. Heavy weight doesn't build muscle. What heavyweights do is they cause an adaptation in muscular damage. Muscle damage equals adaptations. Yeah, but if you're not getting that, then you're getting zero adaptations. You're adapted. And as far as I know, Sam Sulek is adapted. All of his exercises, he's adapted to all of them because he's always doing the same exercises. Look at all his videos. If you go back to when he started his channel, look at him then and look at him now. Has he changed? No, he absolutely has not changed. He looks exactly the same on his drugs because he's adapted, and he's not even getting any more of these. He's that for sure. He's adapted. He's not getting any more of this sarcoplasmic growth because he's not focused on doing enough of that.
A time and a place for not going all out.
He doesn't know what how sarcoplasmic is achieved, how to get more of it. That's his problem.
To not pushing to failure. And if you base your training on the research, or literature says that within 3 reps of failure, that is the sweet spot. So
sweet spot to what? Muscle damage, adaptations, or you're going to build a artificial muscle growth, sarcoplasmic, drawing more glycogen into the muscle for every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water, drawing between skin and muscle into the muscle, Greg.
Why do you have to go to failure every single time if you can make gains by keeping a few reps in the tank?
Because probably he thinks that he's able to draw more of this glycogen into the muscle if he's going to failure, when in fact you could do a full body exercise once a week and then go home, and the rest of the week there's an open window for about almost 8 days there. You can literally keep eating bowls and bowls and bowls of glycogen, you know, potatoes, and load that glycogen into the muscle during the whole week. By the time you get back, shit, you'll gain already 5 pounds, 6, 7 pounds of glycogen in the muscle. You're going to look massive.
I'm not going to say that every set has to be like a near-death experience.
And so Sam is saying, look,
Not if you're artificial. Artificial is not going to get you any myofibrillar growth. You have to be focused on doing that. And well, Sam is not really focused on adaptations. He just wants to go to failure, lift a heavy weight. He never says, I'm trying to get an adaptation here and there in myofibrillar muscle growth.
it doesn't have to be a near-death experience.
Why do you think the sport is so unhealthy? The fake bodybuilding sport is so unhealthy. Number one, plant toxins. It comes with the plant DNA. When you inject plant DNA, it comes with heavy toxicity because plants are toxic. That's how they protect themselves. Number two, and you're even eating plants, that's toxic too. It's got oxalates in it. Number two, they don't build muscles. Okay, man. It's really simple. Adaptations do. They build muscles. Through adaptations, you could build muscles, but that shit doesn't build muscles, what he's doing. And a heavyweight doesn't build a muscle unless it's got some magic powers.
On every single set. And by that, I take it as this. You don't have to go to failure and beyond and just go until you can't do it anymore. When I was training with Damien the fat ass, he made me do a set. He said, go until you can't stop. I believe the set took 5 minutes. You don't need to have...
Look, take away all these phony bodybuilders like Greg Doucette and Sam Sulek's drugs and Jeff Nippard. Take away all their drugs and guess what's left over? Nothing. An inferior rat. All three of them inferior rats, bro. Get it?
A near-death experience on any set in order to make gains. But you also don't need to train to failure. Now, Sam then does go on to explain this. If you could get...
I told you, people with inferior genetics need to take steroids so they can make you feel inferior. You understand me? So you will rise up and fucking worship them like gods because they took a drug. Oh, look at me. I got a superior genetics. That's all they ever keep talking about. Listen to Greg and all these bodybuilders. Superior genetics, guy. We got superior genetics. We got great genetics, guys. He's got great genetics. Oh, he has amazing genetics. Yeah. He injected some amazing plant genetics in him.
15 reps if you went all out. 15 reps, that is all you could ever do. Why would you stop at 10?
But
yeah, why would you stop at 10 if you're natural? I go to 30, sometimes 40, 50, 60. Depends on the weight and whatever. Now, let's say you're moving up higher, okay? You don't have to move backward in weight or whatever because you want to accomplish 30, 40 reps or whatever. Okay, so you're up at a very, very heavy weight. Well, try to push it to 30 if you could make it to 30. I don't know. See what I mean? It's all relative. Depends on the exercise, what you're doing, how many reps, what you're trying to eke out there. I don't know, but it's based on an adaptation system. If you're not getting adaptations, what are you doing there? You're wasting your time.
if your body is capable of doing 15 curls on one side with a dumbbell and absolutely no more than that, why would you stop at 10? It doesn't compute.
He says that it simply doesn't compute. Why would you stop at 10? Now, let me explain this. If you're a beginner and you could get 15 reps all out and you stop at 10, that actually makes sense. When you first start in the gym, you need to keep some reps in reserve. You don't need to train near failure. But if you're an intermediate or advanced level lifter, Sam, 100% correct. The majority...
Sam is not an advanced lifter. He's a drug addict. Neither is Greg. He's not an advanced lifter. He's a drug addict, and so is Jeff Nippard.
Lifters, they don't train hard enough. And many people, they keep in 4, 5, 6.
Again, they're all fake bodybuilders. If they went off their drugs, all their shit would go away.
Even more reps in reserve. And so if you could get 15 and you...
He's making this stuff up, reps in reserve and everything, to make himself sound like he knows something. He doesn't know anything other than injecting a needle in his butt.
Up at 10, you're leaving your gains on the table. Unless, of course, you are a beginner. Rather than...
You're leaving your fake gains on the table, Greg, or real gains? Who are you talking to, Greg? Are you talking to drug addicts, or are you talking to, like, normal people out in the lifting world?
stopping at 10. You should at least get 12. 12 should
Who should stop at 12? A drug addict or a real person lifting? Come on, Greg.
be your minimum. That is, of course, if you're an intermediate or advanced level trainer. That would allow you to stop within
What is your bare minimum? What is it? What is it?
3 reps of failure. But remember this, what you lack in intensity, you have to make up with more volume. If you stop off
What you lack in intensity, you have to make up in volume. Volume, if to them, usually means more sets. You don't need more sets. You can stay with the same sets. What you need is higher repetitions. Yeah. So you can cause damage. You can get an adaptation.
your sets before failure, for example, you stop at 12 when you could get 15, you have to
Look at what plant toxins do to the muscle. Look at these lines and everything between the muscles and everything, what they do to you. The toxicity, the amount of toxicity that's in a steroid, the molecule, when you inject it, look what it does to the muscle, how it makes it look. These people almost look like cartoon characters because the toxicity does that. The more you inject, the higher the toxicity, the more of these lines are predominant in the body.
do far more sets than if you go to complete failure. And so my advice is if you're stopping at 10,
No natural, normal person's legs look like that. They look close, but they don't look like they're filled with toxins like that, where the muscle is just fucking protruding, looking weird, like it's dying because of the toxicity.
right now, and you could get 15, don't think I have to now have a near-death experience. Don't think next time I'm going to go to failure. Just try next time to
Think
get...
about it. Why do you think people say people who take steroids are taking years off their life when they inject steroids? What's causing the years to go off? A lot of the years to go off. Not just the lifting that's accelerated aging. What's causing it? The steroids, the toxicity, the amount of toxicity you're taking on cellular damage. A lot of it from the toxicity.
Get to 11, then 12, 13, 14, 15. It's about training harder than last time and using progressive overload. Rather than thinking I have to get a certain amount of reps, think I need a certain...
Progressive overload. Yeah, you could use that to a certain degree until you don't get any more adaptations. You'll reach a level where it's going to become really hard.
amount of intensity. Try to go hard, but realize that unless you're an advanced level trainer, you don't have to train to failure and or beyond. If you're
An advanced level lifter understands the principle of adaptations, and none of these people do because they never tell you that. They never discuss this with you. So what the fuck do they know?
an intermediate level trainer and you keep most of your reps between 3 reps in reserve or
I know many modalities in training how to eke out adaptations. I know how to get these adaptations in just about every sport you could imagine, whether it is swimming, whether it's running, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's calisthenics, football, basketball, whatever, bro, jumping. I know every modality you could imagine. I know where and what will get me an adaptation and how to get it. Full body, splits, you name it. I just know how to get them.
less, you're doing good. But if you're a beginner, it's perfectly okay to not train to complete failure.
One of the simple tenets of any kind of training. I don't care what sort of set or style or movement or like rep scheme you're doing. Go hard. If it's a hard set, it's going to be good for you. Training and
If that is true, Sam Sulek, if that is so true, then why do you need drugs? If your training is so superior and they're so advanced, these guys, why do they need drugs if they're so superior and they're so great and they have such great genetics and everything? If they have such great genetics like they say they do, then why the drugs? Because they're inferior. They have inferior genetics and they have inferior strength. They're faking it is what they're doing. The strength is faked and so are the fake muscles.
intensity is the great equalizer of all different styles of training.
And so regardless of your training style, your technique, the form that you're using, the training intensity is a great equalizer. If you get 2 people in the gym with equal genetics and one trains perfectly, scientifically, the best...
There you go, equal genetics. Did you hear what he said? If you get 2 people in gym with equal genetics, equal in trend, so equal trend genetics, right? Plant genetics. So if you get 2 guys that inject 2 equally injectable plant genetics, what are you going to get, Greg?
form, but they don't ever train hard. And the other one uses sloppy form, ego lifting in the gym, but they train hard. The person who trains hard is going to get better gains than the person who trains perfectly.
How do you know that? I can prove that the guy that trains sloppily on the same plant genetics when they inject it, and the other one that trains hard will get the exact same gains, and they'll look exactly the same. And I can prove it. I can prove it.
Don't forget the important.
They'll even tell you in the news, they've done stories on it. They'll tell you that they don't have to sleep properly. They could miss workouts. They could this and that, and they'll still make gains on steroids because it's artificial. It's creating an artificial look.
Of training hard, but also remember there is a time and place.
Sam Sulek is wasting his time fucking moaning and growing and eking and fucking going to failure on his stupid little exercises on these drugs. It's not necessary. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. He's not getting any adaptations in lifting doing this. He's getting fuck all. He's getting some phony muscle growth. That's it.
Doing near-death experience type of sets.
Let him go home and eat some more of those shitty carbs and chocolate milk and donuts and stuff to pump up more. The more he pumps up, the better for him. I would take it, trust me, in this modality.
Just because Sam gets away with it, just because he can do 98% of his sets to failure, doesn't mean that you can. My advice...
You mean a natural person can? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Anything is possible. All right, let's see what else he has to say.
Just to experiment. If you're not training as hard as Sam right now and you're not getting the gains that you want, try to train a little bit harder. If you get more gains in doing so, then continue to do that. But if you increase the intensity and all of a sudden you're sore all the time and you're not experiencing as great a gains as you once were, then go back to training how you were. We're all different. No two people are alike. And so what my advice is this. If you're not sure how hard to train a little bit harder. If you're not sore right now, you feel good the next day, you're probably not training.
If you're getting sore during your workout, if you're sore that same day, then you're doing something wrong. That's actually a bad thing.
Quite hard enough. And so what you do is you go to the gym. For example, you did 10 reps and next day you do 11. And if you do 11 reps and you do it and it feels okay.
Who, a drug addict or a normal person, Greg?
Okay, then, well, the next day, try to get 12. But if you do 12 that day and the next day you're...
See, guys, if you take drugs like him, then you need to do these stupid exercises like him. Man, on drugs, listen, you people must be really stupid out there to not understand that if you take these steroids and you just go to the gym and lift anything, you're going to look exactly like Greg Doucette, and I can prove it. You're going to look exactly like him. You're going to look like that just pumping up. If you buy real drugs, I'm not talking about fake drugs that you bought from the corner store. I'm talking about real steroids that you'd buy from like a place like Andorra.
Suddenly sore, you feel the aches and pains, then don't go up to 13. Keep it there for a little while. Let soreness be your indicator. If you are sore every time you go to the gym, you're probably overtraining. But if you're sore every time you go to the gym, that's overtraining. That's a bad sign. That's bad. Feeling great, recovered 100%, there's nothing bothering you ever, then maybe...
Now, if you're getting DOMS, if you're getting a delayed onset muscle soreness, then you've got an adaptation there for sure.
You're holding back just a little bit too much. I know that when I go to the gym, the day after, I feel a little bit of soreness. It's not overly sore, but I can tell I went to the gym the day before.
Yeah, he feels a bunch of bullshit. He's making up shit.
Go to the gym and it's the next day and you can't even tell you worked out, probably not training hard enough, unless, of course, you are a beginner. And so if you're not sore, train a little bit harder. But if you are getting too sore from your training, go a little...
Can you imagine being on these drugs forever and ever, injecting, pinning drugs all the time, constantly, just to keep this phony thing going that Greg Doucette's keeping, this phony look, this phony persona that he has to keep going, injecting drugs? That's just crazy, man. Because he's genetically a failure? This is crazy.
bit easier. Why is he always
Why can't these fake people just accept their genetic failures? Why can't he just accept it?
out of breath? And so as he explains this answer, he is slightly out of breath. Have you considered the fact that this guy is explaining this between sets? He's literally training 98% of his sets to failure, and between these sets, he's giving you his answers. He's talking about the questions, the comments that he's read.
Okay. That was a little more squeezing focus. Let's make the next set kind of more brutish.
And so it's not that he's out of breath from taking PDs. Get with it, people. He's tired from previously having done a set. Imagine if I answered all my questions while racing in a...
He's tired because he needs to load some more glycogen and he's got to go check the pump, guy. Get it? Hey, you think if you're eating protein, it gets you the pump and it makes you like that, blowed up like a balloon protein? No.
bicycle, you'd say, why is...
For how many steaks does it take to blow up a Sam Sulek? I give him a pump and a pump look. Zero.
Coach Greg always out of breath? Of course I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath because I'm doing cardio. Well, Sam, not everyone takes a shit ton of gear to recover from that.
But lifting is cardio. Lifting is cardio. His lifting is cardio. What are you talking about, Greg? Everything is cardio. Anything that makes you move your body is cardio. It's cardio. I don't care what anybody says. Lifting weights is cardio.
And so it is, in fact, true that if you're taking...
Look, if it wasn't cardio, you'd be conked out because there's a connection between cardio and lifting weights. If there wasn't, then you'd be conked out after the first rep. Yeah.
Performance-enhancing drugs, you can, in fact, train harder than last time. You recover faster. You can handle more volume. But it's also...
See, you can recover faster and come back and handle more volume and pump more of this fake shit and lift heavy weights and go crazy with the drugs, bro, like marijuana or cocaine or fucking alcohol.
True is when you're taking performance-enhancing drugs, you're a lot stronger, and so you're lifting heavier weights. And so the reality...
See, when you're taking enhanced performing drugs, enhanced performing genetic drugs, plant drugs, they're going to make you stronger. You're going to lift a heavier weight, like the Trend Twins. Get it? They can't lift... Look, the Trend Twins can't bench 500. They can't even bench their own body weight. Well, they have to inject plant drugs to lift that weight. Without the plant drug, they can't lift it. They're nobody. They're nothing. They're just a pair of manlets, small, tiny, little, skinny manlets, okay? That want to be revered by you because they injected some plant genetics.
Is this, whether you're natural or enhanced, you can only train so hard.
Like I said, why is the majority of people online, a lot of these people, all manlets and failed genetics? Look at these people, the Sam Suleks, the Greg Doucette, the Jeff Nippards, the Alpha Destinies, I don't know, who's the other guy, Omar Izov, a good majority of them, they're all failed. They're all failures. The only one I know, and I can't even say exactly for sure, is Mike O'Hearn. But Mike O'Hearn does it for business purposes, for money. I know what he's doing there. Does he have poor genetics? Somewhat. He's an ectomorph. He doesn't have the best genetics. And he didn't build his body naturally, and neither is his strength, so it's fake. So I would say Mike O'Hearn is a genetic failure too, because he never built it real, so he's a genetic failure, bro. Okay? So a good majority of the people that you're watching online, look at these channels, the Trend Twins, Manlets, Jeff Nippard Manlet, Omar Izov Manlet, lifting heavyweight, whatever, Alpha Destiny, all these people on drugs everywhere. Even the Bugenhagens, they got to take the drugs and then they got to show off all over the place. Like, look, I'm lifting a heavyweight, because they're all failures in their own way. They all failed. They failed. They couldn't make it, so they had to fake it to make it. You understand me? They had to fake it to make it because they faked it because they're failures.
Overdo it while on PDs, you're probably going to get injured. When you train natural, you're far less likely to get injured than when you train enhanced. Did you know that? And so for those of you out there taking...
Why are more people that train taking plant drug genetics, injecting themselves with plant drug genetics, why are they more prone to getting injured? Because they're weak. Get it? They're weak. Their body is weak. And so they take these molecules. It gives them a forced production. They're lifting a heavy weight on a weak body. You understand me? Those aren't muscles. Those are they're water muscles. Get it? So the body, that's why they get injured. That's why they drop off the planet of the earth. All these power lifters that are on drugs, they all drop off and disappear because they've all been injured.
performance-enhancing drugs, you're taking super supplements, remember this, you're more likely to get hurt. You're not only lifting heavier weights, but...
I love this one. He calls them super supplements. Yeah, yeah, man. Hey, bro, what are you taking over there? Ooh, I'm taking super supplements, bro.
your tendons, ligaments, they're not capable of handling all that load. Your muscles get a lot stronger.
Why? Why don't the ligaments and tendons, why can't they handle those loads? Why can't they handle them? Because you never built your body big and strong through myofibrillar growth, through adaptations. Adaptations repair and remodel your muscles bigger and stronger in the natural world. They didn't do it. They stuck themselves with a needle with plant toxins. And so they're using fucking chemical strength, get it? And the phony muscles. That's it. That's why they're so weak, and that's why they get injured and problems.
Before your tendons and ligaments, and so before maxing out on that...
He says your muscles get stronger before your ligaments and tendons. No, they don't. They don't get jack shit.
bench press while taking PDs, think again. You are far more likely...
You want me to prove it to you? Go get some steroids, inject it. All right, inject it, and notice how it'll give you shitloads of strength, and it'll give you a phony pump and phony muscles. And then when you stop taking the drug, notice all that phony strength and phony pump and look and muscle goes away. Get it, dude?
To get injured than your former natty self. There is a reason not to go...
No, former natties can get injured too because they're stupid, because they're trying to catch up with these steroid people and lift a heavy weight because they're fucking daft in their brain. They're stupid.
All out. It's called recovery and being able to hit that muscle again sooner. Dr. Mike Israetel talks about this all the time. Here's the thing. He makes a great point. But if you go to the gym and you're always thinking, oh, I can't go hard because I need to recover, I need to do these sets.
The question is, why do you need to go so hard? To destroy yourself like a crazy maniac on drugs? Are you a crazy maniac on drugs that you need to go hard and go crazy and go nuts?
Again, and not...
Is that it?
Be sore and...
You know, people behave on steroids. They're not calm. They're erratic, sporadic, erratic. They're crazy. You understand me? They're injecting fake testosterone in their body because whatever. It's making them erratic. They're crazy. They become mentally sick, ill.
Dr. Mike Israetel said, make sure to have 3 IR. You're never going to train hard enough. And so don't have it in your mind, oh, I can't push myself here, because if I do, I'm not going to recover, and I'm going to have neurological fatigue. And rather...
Man, Greg is really trying to sell this shit, eh?
Than thinking that, go freaking hard, and don't do 10 sets of it.
His whole motto is go hard. Go harder than last time, and that's... Yeah. Man, and what if you go harder than last time and you get that zero? All the time you get that zero. I will just tell you this. If you're going to the gym and you're going there with a specific goal to build muscle and get stronger, and that scale is not moving every single week, when you come back the following week and you weigh yourself, if that scale ain't moving even a fraction of a pound or whatever, what are you doing there exactly? What are you doing?
You ever think of that? You can go to failure and not do 10 sets like that. And so rather than doing 10 half-ass sets, I like to call those junk volume, why not do 1 very hard rep? Jeff Nippert says for every 3 hard sets you do, make 1 of them to failure. To me, that makes a lot of sense. And so the next time you're in the gym, don't think I need to train like Sam Sulek on every given set. Think 1 out of every 3 sets, I'm going to go very hard like Sam does. And for the other sets, I'm going to go like Mike Israetel or Jeff Nippert and try to go within 3 reps of failure. Looking for supplements to aid in your lifting? Consider Acne Builder or Turk Builder.
Yes, just do the Sam Sulek. You natural people, just follow Sam Sulek and do his workouts, and you're gonna get a failure. You gotta love this shit, man. You know that? The world is a funny place.
Also, GO2 Max for...
People look up to these phonies, man, these fakes. It's crazy.
Increased endurance, remember, has NMN. This can lead to better recovery, better cardio.
Yeah, it's got all these phony powders and phony things. It'd waste your money on that, yes. Just so you could make Greg richer than faster and richer and harder than the last time. This is insane, man. I'm telling you. I gotta go, man. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. This is ridiculous. Helps with the algorithm.
And if you're recovering greater between sets, pushing hard.
Yeah, Greg. Okay, what else?
And If you're older, you're no longer a teenager, or you've perhaps hit a plateau, consider harder than last time supplements.
See, if you hit a plateau and all this, harder than last time supplements. You think Greg is taking these supplements? What kind of supplements Greg taking, bro? What do you think he's injecting in himself, huh? He's already admitted to it.
Good, Greg.
How stupid could people be out there? He's even admitted to being fake and injecting plant toxins in himself and everything, creating this fake look and everything. But yet the dumb people out there are so dumb they buy the shit. Okay.
15% off. Click.
Yeah, 15% off. Maybe I should be fake too and pretend that I'm fake, man. See if my channel blows up. Just tell people I'm faking it and everything.
The link in the description. Aside from this, we have Delta Sleep to help you sleep. We have pre-workouts, both stimulant and non-stim for greater pumps.
What would happen if I told people I was fake on my channel? Let's say I start going back now, conditioning myself. I just remove all the videos and everything. I start all over again, and I condition myself. I put in 1 year and condition myself, look amazing, whatever. Come back on my channel and start posting right away with an amazing body, and just keep telling people, tell people that I'm fake and it's steroids, and I call myself the twin master. Hey, the trend master or whatever, man. And then I start talking about how I'm gonna be an IFBB pro, and all this bullshit. Keep lifting as if I'm gonna join like the bodybuilding world. And then I start selling supplements and everything like Greg, and talking like Greg, revering all these people, got great genetics and everything. You think my channel would blow up, man? Yeah, of course it would, because people are so stupid. They're daft out there. Anyways, man, I gotta go. This is just ridiculous shit, bro.
As well as G-test to increase your testosterone levels, fat burners, and so on and so.
Yeah, see, fat burners, G-test to increase your testosterone. What's that gonna do? Everybody knows correlated in science. They tell you DHT is what's correlated with muscle mass and not really the testosterone. And they tell you the testosterone will draw definitely glycogen into the muscle.
Please click the link in the description.
It's a sex hormone, testosterone, man. You understand me? Anyways, I gotta go, man. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends. This is crazy, man. Wow, harder than the last time for sure.